Hi everyone, Ratnarajah Nerd here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a subject that is both interesting and a little weird, but a very important subject overall, and that is the subject of whale poop and its impact on ocean ecosystems. So let's go find out a little bit more about why whale poop is so important to the ocean's survival. The ocean is a very complex ecosystem with millions and millions of different animals all trying to survive, from eating each other to having multiple food chains. Everything out there is trying to survive in the ocean and perform its functions and live its life. So for example, you'll have a food chain of like a whale eating a shark, eating a smaller fish, eating even smaller fish, and so forth and so on. And you have these food chains happening all over the ocean, very interconnected to be food webs. And the basis of every single one of those food chains or food webs is phytoplankton. This is very similar to on land. The basis of every single food chain comes down to some sort of plant or something that's getting its energy from the sun. And in the ocean, that thing that's getting its energy from the sun is phytoplankton. Phyto meaning light. So you have these phytoplankton all over the ocean, the little ocean plants taking in sunlight and turning it into energy and serving as the basis of the food chain. But in order for phytoplankton to grow, in addition to sunlight, it also needs other nutrients, stuff like nitrates, phosphates, silicates, and iron. Now, there's plenty of phosphate, nitrate, silicates floating around in the ocean, but there's not ever enough iron in the ocean. And since you have plenty of everything else the phytoplankton needs to grow except for iron, we call iron a limiting nutrient. That means we could add as much phosphate, nitrate, silicate, more sunlight to the ocean, and no more phytoplankton would grow unless we were to add iron. Iron is the nutrient that is keeping everything else from going or controlling the amount of growth the phytoplankton could have. So we call that a limiting nutrient. Now, you know what happens to have a lot of iron in it? That's right, whale poop. So when whales poop, and they often tend to poop near the surface of the ocean, their poop contains a lot of iron in it. In fact, the average concentration of whale poop contains 16 million times more iron than the average concentration of seawater. That's a lot of iron. So in the same way that we would apply fertilizer to our crops to make them grow on land, whale poop is basically acting as the ocean's fertilizer, allowing phytoplankton to grow, having enough phytoplankton to grow and be the basis of food chains for all of like the smaller fish and smaller organisms to eat, which are then eaten by bigger things and bigger things and bigger things. Even a lot of whales, like blue whales, gosh, I'm blanking on whales, blue whales, gray whales, right whales, they all like to eat zooplankton, which are really tiny little organisms that feed on phytoplankton. So phytoplankton is important for the entire life of the ocean. We care about the growth of phytoplankton for another reason as well. And that is, again, just like plants, because phytoplanktons are basically kind of like tiny little ocean plants. Phytoplankton is taking in the sunlight and it's turning carbon dioxide also into oxygen. So plants during photosynthesis take sunlight, use carbon dioxide, turn it into oxygen and food for the plant. Phytoplankton takes sunlight, takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or the air around us, turns it into oxygen and food for the phytoplankton. When the phytoplankton die, they take that carbon that's in them that they've taken to do photosynthesis, they take it all the way and sink it down into the bottom of the ocean. So there's all this carbon that came out of the atmosphere that has been sunk down to the bottom of the ocean. And we call that a carbon sink. And it's responsible for removing a lot of carbon dioxide out of our atmosphere and sinking it to the bottom of the ocean and helping to prevent the greenhouse gas effect and like climate change or the warming of the atmosphere. So whale poop really is making both the ocean and us on land function and live and making a thriving ocean ecosystem. It's very important, even though you never think about what happens to whale poop in the ocean. It's very important. Today we learned a lot more about a subject that I bet you thought you'd never hear about ever, and that is whale poop and its importance as both a fertilizer for the ocean's phytoplankton, which serves as a basis of food chains and life in the ocean, and as a carbon sink as it captures all the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during the process of photosynthesis and then sinks it to the bottom of the ocean. And that leads me into today's fun fact that we're going to rate. And if you're new here, in every video, I like to give you guys a fun fact at the end of the video and then invite you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 in the comments below. So today's fun fact is that in the Southern Ocean, the 12,000 strong population of sperm whales and their poop is responsible for the capture of up to 200,000 tons of carbon from the atmosphere. That's a lot of carbon, that's a lot of whales. Whales are really, really important to our planet, besides from just being cool animals in general. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please rate that fun fact in the comments below, like this video, subscribe to my channel, tell all your friends about it. It would mean a lot to me. Go out and just tell them about whale poop and they'll look at you weird for knowing about whale poop and then they'll thank you because now they know about the importance of whale poop and they can share that knowledge with other people as well. I post on every Tuesday and Friday and keep it sciencey. Making our planet work as a whole. Let's go and learn a little bit more about why